This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show here at Namm 2014, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, George Lynch.
I thought you were going to say, Jimmy Page, but he couldn't be here, so here's George Lynch.
George, listen, you have the most air guitarable solos.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You know, we all try to kind of live up to that ideal that's, in our imagination, and that's all we can do. And we're a slave to that,
Now, George, there's rumors that you actually were almost a guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne. Is this true?
Yeah, but it ain't horseshoes, dude, so almost no one, it doesn't mean anything. I had a short run with him, lasted about a month, and didn't work out. And they ended up with Jakey, which is probably the right choice, And I have no regrets because I'm here talking to you at Namm, been able to raise a large family, doing what I love to do, and continue to make music, and I have nothing to complain about.
You're working on a number of projects right now. I think you're doing a version of Dokken, or you're doing a Lynch Mob Dokken kind of tour thing, right?
There's that too. Yeah, I'm got a number of projects have been working on for the last year and a half. The one you're referring to, the first one I believe is TNN, which is the original members of Dokken without the singer. That's called TNN. So that's Mick Brown, myself, and Jeff Pilson. And half the record, which has already been released about a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, it's half Dokken songs that we've re-recorded and half original songs with guest singers and Jeff Pilson singing the original music. Slightly confusing. Really beautiful record. That's been out for a while. We'll probably do another record in the future. I've reformed Lynch Mob with Jimmy DeAnda from Bullet Boys on drums, Kevin Baltez from Lit on bass, and a new singer, Thaddeus Gonzalez from Electric Sister on vocals. We're going out and do a West Coast run here in February, and then we've got a lot of touring this year, going to Europe for all the big festivals and so forth. We've got a record half in the can. We'll see what happens with that. We may finish that at some point.
One of the projects that is looking very promising for you as far as industry elevation is this supergroup that you're doing with Michael Sweet of Stripe. Everybody knows Michael Sweet as a born-again Christian, and that is his view on life, is Christianity and the Christian view. Does it enter into the artistic mix on this album?
No, musically? I think I welcome it because I'm a free thinker. Otherwise could be defined as an atheist, but I think that the power of logic and rational thinking is something that we're gifted with, and it is a sin to not use it or ignore it. So with that in my tool belt, I think the world of ideas is something that I am not afraid of. So if I'm playing with someone and that person represents ideas that are antithetical to what I believe is truthful, I welcome that in a healthy way, because convince me, but argue fairly, using the rules of logic, rational thinking, and maybe we can discover something.
Who led the songs lyrically?
We're not at that point right now. I'm basically writing with Michael music. So I will most likely not be involved in the lyric writing of the songs because it's Michael's record, and I don't think he wants me writing about what I would write about. I have another project called Shadow Train, which is a musical band that's affiliated with the film I'm working on, Shadow Nation, which is a Native American music, political, spiritual quest film. 4 years in the making. The band is on this journey for 4 years. Native reservations, playing music, asking questions, looking for answers. And the music is a representation of this journey. And we sing about things that matter, politically, spiritually, the human condition and so forth. And I was very involved in the lyric writing on that record because I cared, because that was very important to me. I had something to say. In Michael's case, it's not my album. My job is to help write songs and to play guitar. Nobody asked me to write lyrics, and I wouldn't imagine a Christian would want me, a free-thinking atheist, to write lyrics on your Christian album. But who knows? I'm open to it.
Well, it's being called a super group. Now, a group is a bunch of people that have one vision in mind, usually. So, what is the name of this band?
Which band?
The Michael Sweet
I
Super.
have no idea. You have to ask Michael. Right now, it's the Michael Sweet Project. I hired on. It's myself, Brian Tichy, James Lomenzo, I believe, on bass. Yes, that's a sort of a super group, whatever that means these days. But you know, that KXM, Winery Dogs, Black Country Communion, and Chickenfoot. I mean, these are all kinds of the new hybrid of supergroups.
Okay.
Not supergroups in the sense of the supergroups of the early 70s, you know, like Blind Faith or something, where they were real powerhouses. You know, the original Four Horsemen getting together with other gigantic figures in music. To me, those were real supergroups. We're much smaller than that, but important to a smaller audience, but still relatively important. But the power of the music that we can create, when I think it's not a business, but it's done for the right reason, is potentially awesome. You know, and I think that's why Winery Dogs is so beautiful and makes people so happy, because it's really coming from the right place with guys that are insanely talented. You know, and you put these three insanely talented guys, and the sum is greater than the whole. And it's a beautiful thing, and people recognize it. And then the business does well. You know, but don't do it for a business. Don't do it because on paper it looks like, oh, well, we can make a lot of money doing this, but it's disingenuous. You do it because, you know, I love playing with Doug Pinnick. I played in gospel groups and tent revivals in inner city, you know, Compton and places like that, and Watts when I was a kid. I never felt as much rock and roll energy in my life since that had an amazing amount of energy. Doug comes from that too. And he, in my mind's eye, is the ultimate rock singer that I would want to play with. And now I'm playing with him. So I'm picturing myself. Ray, I mean, you know, ambidextrous, you know, tribal drummer. It's just, you know, jungle beats all over the place. So we're able to create this kind of three-headed music monster stuff. It's just, we can do anything we want, you know. And we enjoy each other while we're doing it. So it makes it easy. You know, it's work, it is work, but it's fun work. You know, it's not like I'm dreading doing this. It's like, I can't wait to get there early doing this, you know, and I'll stay. I'll stay overnight, because I want to be here in the morning with you guys, and we'll have some drinks, and we'll shoot the shit, and we have a good time, we love each other, but the music just keeps flowing day and night. It's just great, you know, and I mean, it's musical nirvana. Unfortunately, with the way the band's built, Ray being in Korn and other situations, we're all so busy with King's X and my other projects. We're not kids anymore, you know. We got mortgages and families and debt, and we have to work all the time, and we don't have the luxury to just be in a band like we really want to be. Like this could just be our band, and we can make a living, and we can continue to make records and grow this thing and evolve. That's what we all really want in our hearts. But, you know, life has conspired to not allow us to do that. So we're doing the best we can by maybe touring a little bit, making the best album we can make, making another album, doing tons of videos and doing lots of press. And hopefully, you know, word of mouth will get out there, and the press will work, and we'll be smart, and we'll have some success and be able to allow us to do another record. Maybe at some point actually gel as a band that's not a part-time band, but a full-time band. I hope. And if it's just part-time, I love that too.
What are your highlights of being in Dokken?
Highlights in Dokken? The early years. You know, going to Iceland, going to Europe on a shoestring, no money, finding ways to live and make music with no resources. But those were the best times.
Yeah.
We didn't know it at the time, but they are now in looking back, you know. Then as we had gained success, it wasn't as fun, you know.
Well, success always affects everybody in a band differently.
But now that we've come through all these decades of success and lack of it, you know, different amounts and degrees of success, I think we're all mature enough now to, most of us, I should say, are realize what is important about what we do. You know, old records, they're sitting in my shed out in the desert. You know, I don't put them on my wall. I don't want to see pictures of myself. You know, I just want to be concerned with what I'm at right now and where I'm going, take care of my family, take care of my craft, and try to make that music that continues to swirl around in my head that I keep grasping for and never quite seem to be able to get there. That ultimate solo, that ultimate song, that ultimate live performance. I want to get there, you know, before I die. But I'm glad I never did, because if I did, then the game would be over, you know.
Well, you're one of the greats, George Lynch. Thank you so much. This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show with George Lynch at the 2014 Namm. Signing off.
See you next year.
The Blairing Out Show.